In my opinion, Dortmund are one top-level manager away from winning.
Hi everyone and welcome to our Q&A Extra. This is where we take one of your questions and we delve a little bit deeper into it. So today, Matt, this one is for you. It is from Ashwin Negi, I'll go with. So, opinion. Dortmund will not win major trophies without a coach like Klopp. The club needs to change its mentality about selling young talents for profit rather than holding on to them and winning trophies.
Ooh, boy,
that's
a great question. Great opinion, even.
Yeah.
Lots to unpack. So first off, you're talking about they're not going to win anything without Klopp. You're basically saying they're not going to win trophies without the best manager in the world. Yeah, I mean, most teams would win more trophies than they wouldn't win, if that makes sense, without Jurgen Klopp. You know what I mean? He is the guy that can win trophies, probably for most teams, given a few years. I think with Dortmund, though, there is a very, very almost interesting side to this. When people say, you know, they're selling their young talents for profit, and if they hold on to them, they can win trophies. They're still challenging for trophies.
Yeah.
Despite the fact they are selling their talents. They're not like Southampton sell their talents.
Yeah.
You know, and they've sold their talents. I mean, if you look back to, obviously they would have sold players before. If you look back to, I don't know, Theo Walcott moving to Arsenal in 2005 or 6, whenever it was. Since then, there's been all sorts of Southampton. There's been relegations, promotions, and, you know, this and that. That is a team struggling every time they sell their best player.
Yeah.
You know, Walcott leaves, and then Bale, and then, you know, there's Van Dijk, there's all the players that went to Liverpool, like Lallana, Klein, Ricky Lambert. Southampton are a team that are troubled when they sell their best players. Dortmund, on the other hand, aren't.
They still maintain.
Yeah. You know, and everyone's saying, oh, they sell their young talents for profit and they can't win this. They sold Aubameyang. They sold Ousmane Dembele, right? And they're still here. They're still challenging for the Bundesliga up to a certain extent. Okay, yeah, they lost the game to Bayern and, you know, this, that and the other. They're still towards the top of the Bundesliga. They're still in the knockout rounds of the Champions League and, you know, heading more often than not to the latter stages of the German Cup. So I don't think it's as bad as people are making out. Yes, if you were to keep everybody, you know, that they've turned into big players, they would do. But I think that's not necessarily something that's completely in their hands. I mean, do you think Sancho stays at Dortmund because he wants to win trophies there? Or does he move to Manchester United because, as harsh as it sounds, it's Manchester United?
Yeah, I think
when they come calling, you know.
Because I guess if you look on paper, Dortmund are the better team. I guess if you look at quality, they are challenging still. Yeah, they're not beating Bayern, but they are still challenging at the top of everything, and they're still competing in the Champions League, etc. So I think the Sancho situation is just more. I think just wanting to play for Manchester United and be part of maybe what they are trying to achieve at the moment, and being with, maybe it's also a cultural thing, wanting to be back in England, I don't know, being around other players that he's going to be playing with for England as well, things like that. Obviously he's been in Manchester before, but you know, even if they do lose Sancho again, it's not like it's going to be the end of the world for Dortmund, because they still have fantastic players, and like you say, you have to take your hat off to their ability to be okay with losing players and still bounce back from it, and it doesn't seem to affect them as much as maybe other teams. And
that's the thing, they bring in, they've got a really good system on the other side of this. On one side, yes, they've got selling players, but then on the flip side of this, they bring in very good players for very young money. Young players, not always young, but quite a few good youngsters for small money. And I think as well, when you talk about, obviously he wants to play in Manchester, who's, apart from the top sides, who is going to turn down this sort of money?
Yeah.
Dortmund aren't turning down 100 million. for anyone. Right? I don't think that the only clubs that can turn down 100 million from a rival team, because they don't really need the money because they're very wealthy clubs, are Liverpool, City, United, Juve, Bayern, Barca, Real Madrid, PSG. Yeah. Those, whatever I've just named, 8 clubs, are in a position where they can turn down 100 million. Not only can they turn down 100 million, they can, without the need to bring that 100 million in, they can go and spend more hundreds on new players, which to keep the players happy. They can say, you know, if Dortmund turned around and said, here, Jadon, we're going to spend, 60 million. We're going to spend 60 million on a few new players, and we can offer you, 20 more grand a week. Are you going to stay with us? No. But, if a big player at Manchester United, I don't know, let's say Sancho was in the same position at Manchester United, and United said, by the way, we're spending 300 million, right? We're going in for the best players in the world, and we can offer you an extra 200k a week. You're going to stay at Manchester United. These big clubs have got the means to not only bring the players in, but to keep them as well. Yeah. Do you begrudge Sancho leaving for Man United? No. Do you blame Ousmane Dembele for jumping at the chance to join Barcelona? Not at all.
Not.
These are once in a lifetime, and the same thing happened, I can speak from personal experience, for Tottenham. When Luka Modric and Gareth Bale left for Real Madrid, good luck to him.
Yep.
Even I wouldn't stay at Tottenham if Real Madrid came calling. Real Madrid to whatever it is, quadruple my wages and win all those trophies. Oh my God. There are a million.
Exactly.
To be fair, the gap between Dortmund and Man U isn't as big as between Spurs and Real. Obviously, I'm not bigging up my own team there. But yeah, United can offer so much more, and I think it's not necessarily the mentality they have of being like a weak club of selling. It's just that they're in the position where it's very, very difficult to say no.
I think as well with Dortmund, one of the good things about them is kind of like, as one door closes, another one opens, in that they have the excitement of, obviously they've already got Haaland, who is maybe Sancho's got a few more goals and assists than him, but still the amount that Haaland is producing is still phenomenal. And they did get Bellingham as well. I mean, obviously it's not, we don't know yet if the kid's going to be a sensation or a flop. I highly doubt that they would have signed him if they thought he was going to be a flop. I'm sure they've done their research, but that is again another young, exciting player coming in, and it's kind of something else to look forward to. Like, you know what, Sancho, you go in, see you later, enjoy Manchester. But meanwhile, we have got a fantastic talent that a lot of other clubs were also after, and he wants to come and play for us, and he's excited to be here and focus on that as well.
And that's the thing, you just said it there. He wants to go and play for them. Do you think if Dortmund hadn't have taken a risk on, let's say, Dembele and Sancho, nurtured them, taken them to the level where they both cost 100+ million and become some of the best wingers in the world, had they not have done that, Bellingham wouldn't have wanted to sign for them.
No, he wouldn't.
He wouldn't have seen Dortmund as a viable option.
And that's where you look at, obviously the question is saying that the club needs to change its mentality. What's wrong with maybe that mentality of you're taking players, you're nurturing them in a world of football that is so cutthroat and so brutal and more like a bit more of a business than a sport. They're taking these players, nurturing them, giving them confidence, building them, giving them the tools that they need. They move on and they start again. Yeah, I can see why some people might not like that kind of hamster wheel, but at the same time, I don't think there's anything wrong with that mentality. I think that's a great mentality because you're getting the best of players.
Yeah.
You're selling them for decent money, and you're also always going to have that appeal to young talent.
And that's the thing. So if you have this appeal to young talent, then all you need, like Ashwin said, you're not going to win major trophies without Klopp. All you need is the manager.
Yeah. In
my opinion, Dortmund are one top-level manager away from winning.
Yeah.
If they had a top manager when Sancho's been brilliant the last 2 seasons. Imagine if Klopp was there.
Exactly.
Imagine if Klopp was at Dortmund or a top manager comes into Dortmund. You win one Bundesliga in the last 2 seasons. You get to a Champions League semi-final. You win 2, back-to-back German Cup finals, and then you all move on. Dortmund are ready. Dortmund are prepared in this conveyor belt, and in a few years' time, right, you might think Dortmund haven't won anything, and then bam, one summer it all changes. The right manager comes in. Bellingham's got 3 years' experience. Gio Reyna's got a few more years' experience. Erling Haaland's now the best striker in the world. A coach comes in and says, you know what, we're going to win a couple of trophies in Germany, and then, we're going to take in 300 million for all of the talent that we've got. And maybe the manager himself says, you know what, I'm moving on too. Real Madrid have come calling.
Yeah, I think, like what you say, because they do still, Dortmund is not just a load of 12-year-old kids running around.
No, not at all.
They do have a couple of kind of more like anchor players of the more experienced, etc. And like you say, we have seen it before where young players can still win trophies and be successful. And that is really exciting what you say, that if they do get the manager and you have this great combination of more experienced players and younger players, but like you say, by the time maybe this new manager comes in, those young players are going to have their own little bit of experience, then who's to say that they won't be winning trophies? And it's only, obviously Bayern are going to keep, they've got a brilliant team at the moment. They're going to make signings as and when they need and blah, blah, blah. But eventually you're going to catch up. Like, Dortmund are bound to catch up and be more on the same level.
Dortmund are sustainable. Dortmund are sustaining a level of talent, of young talent coming in, of having loads of money being brought into the club. They are sustaining this level, and all they'll need every 4 or 5 years is a manager that just says, here's the next level, here's a couple of trophies, and then they go back down.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know what? They're not going to be challenging every single season, or certainly, they're not going to be winning trophies every single season. But the expectation level isn't quite there. I think that Dortmund are one piece of the puzzle away from winning trophies, but unfortunately, they can't always have the manager that they want because there aren't that many top-level managers available at the time.
If only there were, hey?
Yeah. But no, big props to Dortmund. But yeah. Yes. That is it. I think we could waffle forever.
I know. Thank you, Ashton, for that question. You got us talking for a while on that one. Let us know in the comments what you guys think about Dortmund, if they are a manager away from competing with Bayern. But yes, thank you. That is the end of our Q&A extra. Like I say, get involved in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button. Check out all the other content that we have got on Onefootball. And myself and Matt will see you guys next week.